Morning folks, bound for end of where we left it off yesterday. So the start of bound 5 or move 5. Let's have a dice, see who goes first, who has initiative. The king's dice is a 2. The usurper rolls a 1, so the king's side moves first. Right, I'll do some working out and some measuring and see where we go. Okay, moving all completed on the king's side. The Thracians have not moved because they're rallying on the spot. This will threaten the flank of those pikes, I think, so they might have to think about it. Yeah, pikes have moved up in the middle here. Those peltasts have moved up to the light infantry, which will force those light infantry to move back out of the way. And the pike here have moved up to within charge reach, and the cataphracts over here have moved up, so we should see something happening in bound 5, hopefully. Right, the usurping side now will move. Okay, the usurping side has completed its moving. These guys have moved forward and gone into skirmish order. These guys have moved forward, gone into skirmish. These guys are just rallying, but if charged can evade because they evaded the last bound. The lights moved away, which pushed the cavalry back and pushed the slingers back to allow a gap for them to fit in, and that's it really. A little bit of, I'll say no shooting, but there is a bit of shooting from the peltasts. These guys can counter, so these guys will just move their normal move, which is 160 towards the general. The general just orders this, sends a message, but he's only got to get a message from, where are we? Here, let's have a look. Yeah, so it's not a problem. He's not going to fail with one message. It'll take them a couple of moves to get over there to get rallied from shaken. Right, I'll just sort out the shooting on these 2 units. Okay, shooting completed. I'll just move that, and rolling was sort of quite normal, but it's half a casualty, and half a casualty on all of those. Right, I think I'm going to have to work out charges. Yeah, it could be quite a few here, so I'll work those out and come back to you. Yeah, I forgot the shooting here, but roll a dice and super heavy cavalry, 9 shooting at -1, it's 7, so that's not even half a casualty per figure. The charges. All of these pike will charge, and I think all of these will charge. These will be charged, obviously they're in line, so they will have to run away as in skirmish order. And here we'll have that unit charge here to make them run away. So these cannot charge. I'll think, no, could charge, couldn't it? We don't really want the green charging, that would expose the flank to the Thracians. The blue could possibly charge. That's a possibility. Yeah, let's have the blue charge. So right, yeah, we'll have the blue charge there. Those will charge those to get rid of those, and then all 6 of these will charge each other. Cataphracts, I think, the cataphracts could charge as well. Charge at the Gallic cavalry to get rid of them. Right, some moving to do. I'll get that sorted and come back to you. Okay, moving all done. Pikes chased off the peltasts, Pikes chased off the peltasts, Pikes there chased off the peltasts. All 6 of these pike units have met in, ready for combat. And over here, bit of a disaster. The Gallic cavalry ran back, pinned by those guys. They rolled normal, not a problem. These guys rolled up 1, so caught them. That should be a rout. So the cataphracts have caught the Gallic cavalry. Shouldn't have run away, should they? But they couldn't really fight them. So okay, right, it's working out time. So I'll get stuck in. Now this is all going to be at dice rolls. That's just the way it is. Both all 6 are charging each other, so we'll go for the orange shield pikes first. They roll a +1. these pikes roll a evens. So obviously those pikes will win. Right, I'll just work out the factors. Okay, so the first combat of the pikes, these guys inflicted 112 on these, and these guys inflicted 94 on those, so they win. Pikes are not pushed back first time, so those pikes become disordered, which will affect them in combat next time. So right, on to the, I'll just make a note of that. Okay, next one along, so these red shields with the T shape on. Oh dear, yeah, that's a down one, C class, they count it. And these guys who are blue, we'll call those blue shields, and they roll a +1, so that's going to be bad for them. So we've got a down one and a +1, just work that out. Okay, so these guys gave out 112, which disorders these guys. These guys gave out 84, which is just 2 CPFs on the blue. Okay, over to the last two units. This shield here is evens, and this unit here is, oh god, down 3. That's bad news, they count the full minus. It could be shaken here, I'm thinking, ooh, if not more. Right, anyway, let's see. Okay, bad news for these guys. They did 42. Because the -3 gave them just the factor 1, so it was 28 of 1. These were 28 of 4, so that's a score of 94 to 42, twice as many, and 1 CPF. Become disordered, second cause disorder. I believe that's a waiver test, so I will do that now. Let's just do a waiver test. Oh god, that's a 1. They are shaken, so I'll find a shaken marker. Yep, there we go, that's that pike block shaken, so fairly balanced. Disorder. This was the one that set it going badly. So I've just got to work out the cataphracts v the Gallic cavalry. Okay, those cavalry are up to 9 already. It's a basic 5 charging against these, which count as medium cavalry, so that's factor 5, charging 6. They count as shieldless, attacking in the rear. That takes them up to 9, so we'll just roll a dice for these regular cavalry. And it's an evens roll, so it's factor 9. And we have got all the front rank and half the rear rank, so we've got 12 at 9. And 12 at 9 is 114 on a 12-man unit. That's a rout. Alright, I'll work that out, and then there'll be some testing to do. Right, looks quite catastrophic, he says. Okay, so this unit routs. They can't interpenetrate these cavalry behind them, so they got to go around them. Trouble is, there's no gap. They need 120 paces, which is 3 notches. Can't go that way, can't go that way, so they have got to burst through. If they burst through, that routs these, because these are irregular of the same type. So they will burst through, and got a route marker that will route those, so both units will be routing, and then we'll have some waiver tests. Oh dear, right, just see how far we go. Oh, it's a route move, it's a standard route move, first one, so they will move 4 notches. That's their route move, puts them back to there. I'm just doing this so we can see who has got to test. These guys will move. Now, I don't know if these guys will follow up. We'll just dice roll for those. 4, no, that's just a normal move of 120 paces, so they will drop short. Oh, they haven't gone back quite enough. That's it, so they halt. Oh, he hasn't moved all the way. Dear, oh dear. There we are. That's what I meant to do. So put that there, that there. Oh, I'm shocked by that. Shocked, I am. Shocked. He says, so we have a route this unit and a route of this unit. So let's just move them. Now, what we've got is some waiver tests. We've got to test this pike block, see how they feel. 1, they're already shaken, they route, so that pike block routes. And we've got to test this shaken cavalry unit for seeing the routes, so they test for the first route. 4, 4 is enough. And the second route, Oh, no, they route because that's a 1. So it's another route. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, let me just pause and get some markers. Right, the next test is the, just get my stick, is the light infantry, who have now seen 3 routes, so that's 3 dice rolls. First one is a 4, they're fine. Second one is a 2, they become shaken. The third route is a 4. Now is that enough? I'll have to check and see if that's enough. Back soon. Right, no, I just checked. 4 was just enough, but they've also got another route, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 routes. They've now got to check for the 4th route, and 4 is just enough, so they carry on being shaken. Okay, so we've got to test this pike block standing next to the routing pike block. Nothing else can be seen, so we'll just test that pike block. The blue ones, they roll a 6, they love it. So they've stopped the rot by the look of it. 4 units in route, that's a serious problem. Right, there we go. Let's have a think and a sort out. Okay, I caught my breath now after all that excitement. Well, that's the end of bound 5. I can't see anything much else to do. These guys are en route. They could have made a counter, or I should have made a counter. Oh no, I forgot, so not to worry. They'd have still seen the route anyway. I wouldn't have gone that far. Or would they, he says. That's a point. Oh dear. What's... Oh, well, I forgot. I should have moved them. If I had moved them, they wouldn't have seen the route. There we go. That's life, isn't it? I can't wind the clock back. Right, yeah, these guys I think will rally on the spot. They don't need to rally back. They need to be there so they can turn and come inwards. And looking over the rest of the field, I think that is it. So it's going to be bound 6 next. So for the King's Men, a black dice at 3. Usurper rolls a 5. Usurper to move first. Usurper's got a bit of thinking to do. So back soon. Okay, that's the Usurper's movement. So we turned units round that ran back last time. And these rally backs, I didn't do these on camera, but there was 2 rally backs. That side and this side. Right, the only unit I can move forward is these guys. These can't, because if they charge again it's a fatigue. These guys are kind of pinned here, can't do a lot. They can't advance because they're not allowed to do that. And they can't really formation change to face that way because that would expose their flank to the cavalry and the peltasts. So we're kind of pinned at the moment. I'm not sure. It'll depend, I think, on what the Thracians want to do. But yeah, so at the moment, just the advance of the pike. These guys are rallying. The cavalry have turned, ready to protect that flank. These guys I must remember to move this time, and the pike combats will carry on. Okay, so over to the King's side. Okay, King's side movement, not a lot. Yeah, not a lot. Thracians are still standing, not a lot they can do. They can't turn because they would be on their flank. So they're going to have to stay like this, pinned at the moment. Turned these guys around, brought the cavalry up. Cavalry can't attack the pikes. Not the pikes in good order, they will die. So they're ready in case something happens. These 2 guys are going to charge. And we've brought the peltasts up at the back. These guys are rallying. I brought these cataphracts forward, ready to turn into the flank. So it's charge decorations now, which will be these 3 will charge each other, so it's going to sort of meet halfway. I'll just do that and tidy it up in a minute. Okay, combats. Right, so we've got a 2-on-1, so it's split units fighting here. So do the Usurper first, see what he gets. Oh dear, down 2. And that's a fall down 2, counts it. The red and white unit, they're down 2 as well. And this unit here, who shouldn't have charged, but I said they were charging, so I've kept my word. Dice for those as well. And they're up 1. So, right, I'll just work this all out. Now over here we've already got a disordered unit, so that's going to be bad news for those. Disordered close. So we roll a dice for those guys, and that's a +1. And this red tunic guys, a +2. Dear oh dear. think we could have another shaken unit, so I'll just work that out. Okay, combat. So these guys, the blue shields are rolling. Oh, that's a +2. That's nice. The disordered guys who have the red shield and a +1. But they're not going to be very happy, so I'll just work that out. Okay, so I've remembered to move the light cavalry in their counters. I forgot last time, but of course they're en route, so these companion cavalry here need to take a waiver test. So let's roll. Oh, 6, they love it. There are people that can see it that are new, so they don't mind. They ignore them, as they should. I've now moved these guys back. I forgot to do that, and I moved those guys back, so I'm just going to do the hack on here. It'll be quite hard because these guys are shieldless, medium infantry, so it should be some high scores. Yes, horrendous as we thought, 150 casualties, so they will continue in the route, and they will continue to pursue them at the moment, won't they? Oh no, they've made one. I'll have a look and see. They may be able to stop. I'm not too sure, but they may be able to rally. They're not impetuous. They're not irregular. They're regulars. They must make one follow-up, which they've done. So they may be okay. I'll check that out. Okay, end of bound 6. Oh, big sea change over here on this. On my right flank, lots of red rat stickers and disordered and shakens. Not so much going on over here on the left flank. Okay, yeah. So bound 6 over. Let's dice to see what happens. So the usurper rolls a 3, and the king rolls a 2. So the usurper goes first. Okay, that's a usurper's move, and I'm finally managed to work this out. What I've done here is move these forward, these pike block, and expanded by 2 elements. That protects the flank of the green guys. They would then turn to flank, formation change, and wield 40 paces, which they're allowed to do. So that's yeah, that's right. So formation change and wield, so they can attack these Thracians next bound. Move the peltas forward. Oh, I haven't moved. They need to be in skirmish order, because if they get charged, if they're not in skirmish order, they'll stand there and rout. And these guys can't do anything. They can't move closer than they are now, unless they want to go into combat, and they don't. And these cavalry move forward, so we'll have a waiver test. I'll just do that now. Waiver test with the cavalry. Gold. Oh no, no, no. No, that's enough. Yes, yes, and these are 2. 1 would have been a fail. I think these are A class, so yes. 3 would be a fail. 2's a pass. 1's a pass. No, or whatever. The other way around. Yeah, it's getting late. All right, 1's a fail. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a pass. That's what I meant to say in English. Right, King's guys will do their moving. Okay, yeah, Thracians, all they were able to do was turn to face, which put them in a column. They couldn't do anything else, but that's what happens. They should have done something before, shouldn't they? Right, we've got some shooting over here, these peltas, and we've rolled a +2. Right, so +2. I don't think it'll do much damage against the pikes. It's a basic 3. Just let me get the reference book. Shooting, sorry, is a basic 2, deep target 3, +2 is 5. What have we got? Skirmish also 12 or 5. 12. Oh, I do lie. It's 48. 40-man unit. That's 1 CPF. So I will write that down. Right. Yeah, it's going to be charges, etc., etc. Okay. Yeah. So we'll have this charging here. The peltas are going to have to charge. It'll be a normal charge. They won't be impetuous, so they can't override the pike. They've got enemy behind the flank, which will stop them being impetuous, so that's a consecutive charge here. He'll charge the peltas, who are in skirmish order, so they might run away. Oh, I didn't do their shooting. While I'm talking, let me do their shooting. And they rolled an evens. That's 0.5, half a casualty per figure. So that's not going to worry them at all. Yep, so we'll have a charge here, a charge there, and that's it, isn't it? Because these are ongoing combats. And oh yes, I did look how these guys broke off. They were able to break off. Right, I'll work these combats out. Okay, Thracians. Oh, that's not bad. A 6 and a 4. That's not. No, it's not cocked. I thought it was cocked. That's a +2. And for the Pike, their charge. Oh, +3. Not that they needed it. My goodness. Right, let's work that one out. Right, well that was a close one. Rolling out +2. I think it saved them. It would have been a rout. So the Pike did, or inflicted 70 on the Thracians. The inflations, or even the Thracians inflicted 37 back. So twice as many 3 CPFs would have routed them, but obviously 37 is not twice as many, is it? So that saves them. That pushes those guys back. 70, they're 18, so that's 54. So that's three caches per figure. That disorders them. Not twice as many, but it's 3 CPF. So they're disordered, pushback disordered. Right, I'll do that. Okay, some staggering casualties this time. Not really. So we had these guys charging in, but because they rolled down 2, they only did 20. These guys standing did 12. Oh, I'm lying, aren't I? It's even worse than that. Hang on, I just got to work it out. Right, I worked it out now. Yes, so they did 20 on those guys, and these guys standing did 12 back. Here, these guys rolling down 2 and standing and disordered only did 6 because it was -1, and these guys did 12 on them standing, rolling down 2. So that's all worked out. These guys were just 16 at 3, 16 at 3? No, it's 8 at 3, isn't it? I don't know what I'm thinking of. 8 at 3, which is 20. So nobody did anything particular, did they? No, because I did 32, so they're beaten in compact, so that will disorder them. These guys here are disordered. This red and white and green are disordered because of the blue guys. The blue guys are not disordered. These guys are already disordered. So it's their second disorder, and what did they lose? No, I think it's going to be way. I'm going to work that out because I'm rambling, so just work these all out. Right, worked it all out. Yeah, because they didn't do enough casualties. So these guys became disordered because they lost more than they inflicted, and at least 1 casualty per figure. These guys lost more, but it wasn't 1 casualty per figure, so not enough to disorder them again, or it would have been a way of a test. Right, so over here now, we've got 2 combats. We've got these guys pushed back, so we'll dice for these guys. That's a +1 then, they need that. And the orange guys, or red guys, are down 2. Oh, that could help them. Let's see what happens. Okay, right, not enough to help them out. They did a little bit. They inflicted 32, but because these guys were following up, they gave out 56, even though it was a down 2, and these guys got a +1. So that's just another pushback disordered. No waiver tests, nothing there. So yeah, I'll move those back. Let's dice for these guys. So these guys are disordered, the red shield at the back, +1, and these guys following up the blue shields, down 2. So we've got a +1 and a down 2. It's going to be the same as here, isn't it? So back soon. Okay, yep, so that was exactly the same. So they've gone back 40 paces. They've gone back 40 paces. What have we got? I'm going to have to move these guys in counters. Just move these like cavalry. Yeah, and that's it. And I've rolled a 3 for the king's men to go, and 6 for the usurper to go next. So that's going to be what? That's bound to move 8, isn't it? Right, so I'll get stuck in and do some moving. Okay, movement completed for the usurper. Infantry moved here. These formation changed, and those guys formation changed. Other than that, it's basically pinned. So the king's men will now move. Okay, movement completed for both sides. Yep, just formation changes cavalry because I think they're going to have to charge in there. Formation change these pikes. I think it's all over this unit. They're going to have to get in, stuck in there, and these guys are coming up ready to either take them on or anyone else. Yeah, looking close. Looking like the usurpers may not be usurping much longer. Right, a little bit of shooting from these guys. Let's just see if what they do. Any horrendous. Oh, down one. No, that'll be half a casualty per figure on those. So no one's going to worry about that. Right, these guys would shoot into their flanks, but they can't shoot because they're in combat. So that'll be a combat. Right, I will now work out combats. Wasn't hard to work out, was it? So obviously these guys will charge the flank. They're already on that flank, so they will charge in, counting one element. That will have to be an overlap, so I'll just move these guys up. These guys will charge into the flank here, one element, and the cavalry will impetuously charge here. I don't think this is good. No, yeah, they've got to be impetuous just to give them that edge against the pike. Maybe a forlorn hope, but there we go. What's happening here? Oh yeah, and these guys are going to have to charge, aren't they? Because of what's happened, to get rid of these. So they will charge and they will run away. So let's roll a dice. 2. Oh, they only go 40 paces. Oh dear. But enough to make them run away. So 40 paces puts them there, and these guys run back. Oh, 40 paces. Or down 40 paces, sorry. That makes 80 paces for them because they're faster. Right, I'll work this all out in a minute. Okay, just to clear up, as I was talking gobbledygook there, these guys only move 80 paces normally, so if they roll down, they only move 40 paces. These guys move 120 paces, so if they roll down, they move 80 paces. Hopefully that's clear. I hope you're all taking notes. Right, some dice rolling over here. The Pike against the Thracians. Down 2. Oh my goodness, that's not good, is it? Down 2, and the Thracians. Oh, just grab some dice. And the Thracians roll up 2. Oh God, they could end up winning this. I don't think so, but I'll just work it out. Okay, we got there in the end. Right, so these guys, even with the down 2, because these are axemen who are now shieldless in the second round, so it was, and following up, and they're all fighting, so that was 28 at factor 5, which gave 112 on these guys, and they did 5 at 6 with the +2, which means they inflicted 25. 112, twice as many, 3 CPF, so that's a rout. So that will rout those guys. Change that for a rout sticker. And now we need to check these cavalry and anyone else that can, well, I think it's only the cavalry that can see it, so let's just give these guys a roll. They will need a 2 to pass. A 6, I think a 6 is a pass in old or new money. Right, so they have passed. I'll now work out their combats. Right, as they were so close to the table edge, the Thracians were routed straight off. Normally these guys would have followed up 80 paces, but they can't follow up. There's nothing to follow up. Right, let's work out. So we've got the cavalry impetuously charging on down 1, but that'll count evens. So we'll put that as evens so I don't forget. And the pike block, blue pikes here, +2. Right, let's work that out. Okay, well that's worked all that out. What did we do? We had a 64 on those guys because we can count the overlap this time, and they did, even with the +2, only did 20 back because they're disordered. So now we're going to dice for this unit here because they're linked in, and they're down 1 and they count it. They're a +2, so we need to find out what these guys are. And they're an even, so we have an even roll down and a +2. Right, more sorting out. Okay, just took my maths A level, I think, sorted this all out, just loads of calculations. But anyway, so the cavalry lost 48. Silly move charging them in, but I just had to do it. It's a thing you have to do. They lost 48 and inflicted 20, so that's a rout. So I'll be testing these guys here. The blue guys inflicted 64 on those, and they only gave out 20 back. That's right, isn't it? 83, 20, yeah. Here they did 20 on those, exactly, obviously because it's a +2. So 20 there and 20 there. These guys did 8 on those and 8 on those. And that with the overlap, 16 figures, did 40 on those. So I'm going to total those all up, and I think we're just going to have some waiver tests and possibly some follow-ups. So back soon. Okay, before I do anything else, so what we've got is the route guys here have gone back. These have been pushed back because of the combat from the blue guys and a little bit of these. And these have been pushed back because of the combat from this guy and a little bit of that. So that's why we've got these weird movements backwards and forwards. So the blue will follow up, crash into them. It will not crash into those Peltas because they were not uncovered. They could see them before, and they're not impetuous. And these guys will obviously follow up, and the overlap counts there. Alright, so what we've got now is a we've got a waiver test here. These disordered guys, so I'll just check them, see what we get. It's a 6, they love it, they're solid. These guys push back, but it's not twice as many as the 20 to 40. No, they're fine, so they're just pushed back disordered. Right, on to the next combat. Right, before we do combats, I've got my waiver test, so we've got to test the Peltas. Oh, a 1, they're shaken. Peltas are shaken for seeing that route, and the other companion cavalry. 2. I think they're okay on a 2, aren't they? Got the route. They got the route, but they got that flank. They're going to be okay on it. Oh, they would be. Oh no, they're not broken. Yeah, because it's no unbroken friends. But no, they're okay. They've still got this unit here of disordered, which counts as support on the flank. Yeah. So right. Yeah, they're just okay, but they are shaken. Okay, this one here is a 3-way combat. We've got these 2 units and these guys hitting them in the flank. So the guys hitting them in the flank roll a. Oh God. Down 3, that's the way it goes, and the orange shields roll a +1, so down 3 +1, and the disordered guys roll, what do they roll? An evens. So we'll have down 3 there. I'll get some more dice so I don't forget. Okay, so yeah, not as predicted. Anyway, they were the winners. They did 112. Those guys only did 24 back, which is twice as many, and 2 CPF, so there'll be a waiver test for these. These guys did 30 on those, which I don't think it pins them. I'll just check in the rule book. I think you have to do 1 CPF, 1 casualty per figure to pin them. 40-man unit, they only inflicted 30. I'll check that, but these guys are going to get pushback and a waiver test, so I'll just do that waiver test now, just to see what happens. Oh dear, that's a 1. They are shaken. Pushback shaken. Yep, as I thought, these guys are not pinned, so they follow up. And these will have to work out what they want to do. I suppose stuck in the combat at the moment. Here looks like the end of the blue unit. They're pushing those back, but they've been hitting the flank, and it's their shieldless side. So let's have a look at the calculations. The attackers in the flank roll a +2. Oh dear. The blue shield guys roll a evens, and the guys who are disordered roll. Oops, that's a cock dice. Roll a down 2. So we could have a shaken and another shaken. Anyway, I'll work those out. Okay, devastating and then not so. Right, these guys lost a total of 145, but they did inflict 84. They inflicted 84 on these red shield guys, and they gave out 12. So that's twice as many 2 CPFs. That's a waiver test for those. So let's just roll the waiver test, see what happens. A 2, they're shaken. So that's shaken there. Here, these guys lost 145, as I say. They inflicted most of 133 there. What does that do to them? I think that just disorders them, doesn't it? Yep, disorders them because it counts as a first round. They're not disordered at the moment, right? So they're disordered. Pike hits in the flank. I'll get some. I'll get another sticker. Okay, I think it's coming to grim death for the usurper. With that unit that was doing okay, hitting the flank. These are gone, so everybody here is gone, more or less. Shaken pikes won't survive. I don't think the cavalry can do much against the pikes or the cataphracts. Over here, these are disordered. The blue unit's doing okay, and the green unit's doing okay. So perhaps a little swing around, but we're now on to move 9. We'll have a look and a sort out. Just a second. Yes, right. Let's dice roll for the King's Men. They roll a 4, and for the usurper, rolls a 2. So the King's Men move first. This is bound 9. I make it. So I'll get on with some moving. Okay, that's the moving finish for the King's Men, and I can see no movement from this side. Just done a counter with those, brought those back a bit further, done those their route move, and there's nothing else anyone can really do. Turned those round, they ran away last bound. Yeah, that's about it. I think it's looking a bit precarious. This may be the last bound, we'll see. Right, let's just see if there are any charges. Yeah, that's going to be, they're going to charge into the flank there, so I'll do that now. It's obvious, isn't it, that they're going to do that. That'll seal their fate. Nothing to stop them. Over here, these guys are rallying, so they can't do anything. They push back, can't do anything there against those, even though they're shaken. Yeah, here they can't really charge. They charged last bound. They need to be prompted. Much they could do. Could be prompted to charge. No, they might as well rally because everything's going well for him. There's no need to prompt them to charge and take extra fatigues. They can rally and then have a go next bound because these guys will just run away. Right, that's the combats that I can see. I'll start working them out. Okay, over here we have, what do we have? The blue guys roll a, +3, that could be it. +3 for the blue pike against the disordered guys who roll a evens. So it's an even roll here. That might be a rout, possibly. So let's see what happens. Okay, well that worked out as predicted with that +3. That gave them 20, which is exactly what they needed. 40-man unit, twice as many. They did 16 back on them, so it's twice as many in 3 CPFs. That's a rout. So we'll just move this. Oh, as he stabs himself, move this out of the way. Put a route marker, and there we go. So now there'll be some tests of some other people. So let's have a look at some tests. The shaken peltas 2, that's a rout, so they rout. The cavalry have now got 2 routs. Tests for the peltas 2. Oh, good. No, they're going to fail because there's no support. So they become shaken. They're in rout. Just get a route marker. Okay, and now the cavalry are going to test for the pike block that's routing. Oh God. They're in rout, so another rout. So that's how it all rolls, isn't it? So we've got rout. Now we have to test this next pike block to see if they rout for seeing the rout. Yeah, we'll test those. So pike block C-class 2. That's shaken. So we've got to get a shaken marker for those. Yep, and then we've got to test the light infantry at the back. See if they rout. Sorry, if they become. How many tests have they got? Well, they've got 1. Can't see the peltas. They've got 2 tests. So first for the cavalry, that's a fail. So that makes them shaken. And now for the pike block, that's a fail. So they're in rout. So as quickly as that, we have rout, and shaken, just like that. Nobody cares about the laundry, so nobody tests for that, and everybody who needs to test has tested. That flank's gone, isn't it, for the King's men? Got to fight this here, but we've got a shaken via disorder, so I'll just work this out. Right, dice roll for the disorder guys, evens, and for the shaken guys, +1. I think they needed that, so we'll just work it out. Right, that was very close that time, because they were following up to get more fighting. 16 fighting there, 28 fighting there, in with the down 2, 28 on those guys, and they did 24 back, so that's now a stand. Nobody goes anywhere. Those guys are shaken though. Right, so here we've got a 4-way combat. As you can see, we've got these Peltas guys in the flank. Let's dice those. They rolled an evens, that's better than last time. The orangey shield guys roll a +1, and I've got to find some more dice. And the cavalry roll a down 1, but because of the class they are, that makes that evens. And then we need a set of dice for the shaken guys. Okay, right, roll for the shaken guys. That's a cock dice, it was a +2, and it's a +1, so it's a +1 on those. I think it's all over for them, but I shall run through it. Okay, all over by the shouting, as they say. Right, these guys inflicted 40 on the flank of those orangey red pikes. The pikes did 112 on the other pikes here that have been pushed back. The cavalry coming in on the flank did 90, and the shaken pikes pushback did 24. So that's a rout for the pike. 202 casualties lost, and because these guys did 40, that pins them. That unit pins them. Not that I don't think they'll worry too much. Right, I'll just work out where everybody goes, and we'll have some waiver tests as well. Okay, let's have some waiver tests. So we've got the light infantry who are shaken already. Waiver test. Roll a 5, they love it. Heavy cavalry. Guard cavalry. 1. Anything but a 1. A 1 makes them shaken. So they're shaken. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Fresh route. They've seen a fresh route. Oh, they're already in route. Doesn't matter. They're in route. They're shaken. They're now shaken. They can't see it. Can they see it? Yes, the Peltas have got a check. Peltas checking. 4, they love it. Yeah. As I say, they've pinned the red orangey guys. Right, next combat will be over here. And we've got these guys in the flank. That's a down 1. The guys that are pinned, that's a +1. And the shaken guys is a down 3. I think we might have a route there. Just depends on what these guys can do. So I'll work it all out. As they say, close but no cigar. These guys did 32 and they did back 4, but not enough. It has to be 1 casualty figure. That would have been a waiver test with a possible route, but that wasn't what happened. And these guys hitting them in the flank did 64, so that stops them. They're disordered, and that's 1.5 casualties per figure. So let's think. They're going to be pushed back. So they're going to be pushed back that way. Now that's interesting. Right, so I'll sort this all out. Right, I think we're probably at the end. I can't see much more that's going to happen. I think the King's men, as they say, have got on the King's army. Although the King's army have just lost a whole squad here. We've got the blue pikes who are in good order and the green pikes in good order. But that's it really. These guys are probably not that good of order. These guys are okay. We've got Peltas and we've got 1 unit of cavalry, few light infantry and a light cavalry unit. Everything else is either shaken, routing or precarious. Over on the King's side, yeah, we've got the Agama, the guard cavalry, good pike block there. That pike block's going to be okay, I think. 2 units of cataphracts, Peltas and light cavalry. So I think he's got the edge. I think that's it. And maybe, let me have a look. I tell you what I'll do. I'll work out the, yeah, bound 10. Let's go for bound 10. Do the final moves. We'll call it after 10. So the king's men roll a 5 and the usurper rolls a 5. Oh god, roll again. 5, 6 for the usurper. So the usurper side goes first, and then we'll follow with the kings. Right, moving done for both sides. A little bit of shuffling, nothing much. These guys have moved around here. The pikes have turned around and moved back. Oh, he's falling over. Just move him there. So it's going to be combats. He's working out combats. We've got a that's a route combat there. We won't worry about that. They can't route more than route. So we're going to have this combat here. So the usurper rolls a 2 and a 2. So the king's men roll down 1, and they're shaken, so they could be in trouble. So we'll just work that one out. Okay, right. So what we've got over here, because of what the casualties, they're already shaken, so that's a waiver test. Let's just test these guys to see. 4. C class with a 4. That's enough. They're not going to break it. That nope, they remain shaken. Out of 4, they needed a 4. Okay, right, I've just checked through, already shaken, so I'll check them around to see how they are now. Shaken, let's see what they do. A 1, that's a rout. Right, so we need to test the unit next to them who are sound, see what these guys are like. Oh my goodness, that's a 1, so they now become shaken. So they're shaken, and those guys are routing. Let's find a rout. Oops. A route marker. There we go. Run out of red ones. Right. Sorry. Yeah, route. They're shaken. To think about this. Okay, I suppose that was worth doing. You just see what happened there. So the disordered guys just stand hanging around. They need to rally. They don't pursue because the break was not because of those combat, was it? It was the other way round. Because the state these guys were in. Right, I'll go over here now, just sort this out. This 3, 4, oh no, we've got this little one here. Might be worth having a look. I'll have a look at that and see what that comes out like. So we've got the Peltas who roll an evens, and the orangey red guys roll a down 2. Yeah, that could be bad news. Just a second. Okay, well that's not bad from these guys with an even roll. So it's a basic 3, shield is 6. They inflict 80. I rolled these guys because they've got no one to fight, so they don't fight back. So that's 2 CPFs, twice as many, and 2 CPFs. That's a waiver test. I'm going for a waiver test here. So just do a waiver test on those guys. 2, they're shaken. So I'll just get a shaken marker. Yep, those guys are now shaken. Right, and then we've got the last little bit to do. Just sort these 3 out here. So we've got these pikes that were pushed back because of that one. They're disordered, yeah. So we've got the blue pikes, blue shield, +2. They like that. The guys that are shaken, down 1. And the guys doing the pushing back, down 2. Red 5. Okay, I'll work this all out. Okay, cokes. Okay, right. Well, these guys do 80 on these. Do they? No, I'm lying to you. They don't. They do 40. 16. They do 40 on them, which is 1 CPF, 1 casualties per figure. And these guys do 8 back, so that's 5 times more. They're already shaken. That's a waiver test. So let's just waiver test these. See what they do. 3. That's not enough. That's a rout. They needed a 4, being C class. These guys are beaten 112 to 40, disordered, so theirs is a waiver test. So let's waiver test these blue shield guys as well here. 4. That's enough, isn't it? Yes, because they've just beaten. Yep, that's just enough. Oh dear, but they are pushed back, so they're pushed back. I'll just move them like that for now. These guys are sound, but they're en route, so now we've got some waver tests. So I'll just tidy this up a bit. Okay, some waver tests because of that route. The light infantry 4, they're fine. Now did the, yeah, they can see it, the Gemma, no, anything but a 1. A 6, they love it. The Pike block that's pushing these back, 6, they love it. Peltas, 6, they love it. Everybody loves it. And they didn't see it, you know, they're too far away. And there we are. I think we must call that an end. So I'm just going to add up to see where we are. Now what we normally do with this is, it's so, I'm not sure, we look at attacking units. We don't count light infantry units that are left. You count attacking units, so I will just add those up. Right, well, I am surprised. It looks like the usurper has almost, yeah, won, I suppose. I've got it, the usurper has got 3 pike units left that are okay with disorder as a rally curve disorder. We don't count shaken or routing units, and we don't count light infantry units or light cavalry units. So the usurper has 3 pike units, it has 2 peltas units that are in good order, and 1 unit of heavy cavalry companions with the general. That's its fighting strength. Forget its light infantry. And the king's side, the king has got the Gemma. It's got 2 cataphract units, but now only 1 pike unit. It's just lost 2, hasn't it? Yeah, it's lost that one there shaken and lost that one in rout. With that flank, it was that flank going that did it. Once he lost all those, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 units, then a 5th unit, they're shaken. They can be done in by those pike or those peltas. To recover from shaken, the general needs to join them, and obviously no general is going to join them in the middle of the battlefield. He might end up routing himself. So it's very close, but the usurper has just about squeezed a victory. So the king might be toppled from his throne any moment. Yeah, any moment the king might go. He'll be on his way back home, probably to raise some more troops. Right, I hope that was enjoyable. I'm sorry it's a bit long in the second half, but just the way it goes. I fought this for about 6.5 hours myself, obviously not that much on film. As a solo game, that's not too bad, I suppose. If there'd been 3 or 4 of us, it'd probably taken 12 hours to fight, with lots of arguments and lots of cups of coffee. Right, thanks for looking in, and bye for now.